Welcome to Let's Run That. I'm Jill. In this episode, I'm going to make some washers, because these are clearly not up to the task. They get bent under the minimal pressure that I apply on my T-slots to hold my vise onto my milling machine. I'm going to make these washers out of 4140, and hey, of course, I'm going to use the surface grinder. So let's do it. First of all, let's have a look at this. Look how deformed this is. This is horrible. So anyway, so if I'm going to make custom washers, I'm going to do it my way. So it's not going to look like a normal washer. So let's take a couple of measurements. This is 1 inch in diameter, right? Okay, good. We'll take those measurements down. 1 inch OD, great. Now the bolt itself, so we're talking about 3/8 of an inch, right? And the head is 1/2 inch by 3/8. Okay, so the ID will be 3/8, and what I want to do is countersink the head. That way, if I'm using some sort of, like a screw jack or whatnot to level things out or support something, it's not going to be resting on the head of this bolt. It'll rest on the top of the washer. So essentially what I'm thinking of doing, so let's make a rough sketch here. It'll be, like say a normal washer, but much thicker. And inside the washer will be a recess for the head of the bolt. And then the rest, the hole, is going to be for the bolt shank. So that's what I'm thinking of doing. All right, so let's grab some metal and let's go to the lathe. So here's what is going to happen. I've cut a piece of about 4 inches of 4140. This is 1 inch diameter, and as you can tell, there's a little scale and rust and whatnot, so I'm just going to clean that up. The outside diameter doesn't worry me all that much. It's just for looks. And like we discussed at the bench, the head of the bolt is 3/8 of an inch. So I'm going to give it 1/8 of an inch for the actual washer thickness, which means that the overall thickness of this is going to be 1/2 inch. And I need to make 2. So the first thing I'm going to do is phase this off and then use a center drill, and then I'm going to drill in about 1.25 inches into this, and then we'll test fit the bolt, just make sure things fit nice and tight. And then I'll probably cut the 1/2 inch hole for the head of that bolt and then chop this off. So let's get started. Okay, I'm going to use my favorite carbide cutter. And the other thing is I'm going to use my power feed to phase this off so that I get the best finish possible. And we'll let the lathe do its job. Going about 20 thousandths of an inch, let her rest. As you can tell, I'm going pretty slowly to phase this off because I want the best possible finish. And that way when I get to the surface grinder, it's not going to be as much work. It takes a little more time, but it's usually worth it. We'll see it when it's done. Let's have a quick look at this thing. It is pretty nice finish, very, very smooth to the touch. So we'll proceed to the next part. So let's do it. And we'll take, say, 15 thousandths off. Carbide doesn't like to go too shallow, but these are finishing inserts, so they're a little bit more forgiving in that respect. But nevertheless, here we go. Stop the lathe. Let's have a quick look at this thing here. The finish is absolutely horrendous. So I'll come back And since the outer diameter is not critical, I'm going to take another 25 thousandths and I'm going to speed up the lathe because I think it'll give me a better finish. So I'm speeding up to 628 RPM. Let's see what happens when I do that. All right, let's go. Much better. Faster was much better. Excellent. So this is a great demonstration, right? So we draw this, and now the next part that I want to do is drill the center and then drill in about 1.25 inches at 3/8. I will keep changing bits until such time as I am done. So hang on. Done with drilling. Let's see, let's test fit the bolt. Perfect. Very nice fit. Okay, so now what I want to do is countersink, 1/2 inch. So let's do that. This preheated 4140 is a real character to deal with. So be prepared. You're going to use the pre-hardened, you know, it's not quite as easy as it might seem. Alright, so I need to go 3/8 of an inch, right? So here I am at the edge of it, and so I'm going to go 1/4 inch and then come back and have a look. And actually, you know what? I have countersink bits. Stand by. Comes. Lots of oil on there. I'm only going to go to depth of 1/4 inch at first. So set myself up. Tailstock is set at 1 inch. It's locked. Come back a touch. Here we go. It's actually cutting the center bore first. Now and there. We'll go a 1/4 inch. See it's turning, so it's not happening. Well, the counter bore just wasn't cutting it for the this pre-hardened 4140. So I'm going to finish the rest of this using a boring bar. The ID is fine, but I just need to get it deep enough so that the bolt head actually will fit. So let's do that. inch off here. There we go. Hoping that this will do the trick. Perfect. That's what I wanted right there. Now I've got to cut this one off, right? And I believe if I didn't mess anything up, and I measured just to be sure, yep, then I can cut at 1/2 inch. Okay, so what I've got is a high-speed steel cutting tool that's 5% cobalt. So these are really nice, and that's what I intend to use. We'll see if I can do it. Alright, give myself a little extra, because remember, I'm taking it to the surface grinder. Yep, I am. Right there should do the trick. Lock the carriage. Don't want that to move. And I might feed this by hand just to see how it works out here. There we go. So far, so good. Cut the other side now, and then start chamfering and all that stuff on both parts. So now that I've cut off the both of the parts, I'm going to phase this one here. That's the reverse of what we had just drilled, and then create some chamfers, and then flip it around again, and then chamfer everything on the other side, which will make it ready to go into the surface grinder. There we go. Remember with 4140, never ever try to clean the chips with your hands, ever. Excellent. Now the reason I say never try to clear these, because if it grabs on the wheel, it'll tear your hands apart. It has done that to me, and I would rather not repeat that experience, to be honest. Come back, and we have to chamfer this here. So let's do that. Let's see if I can use that Noga tool. This is exactly what they're meant for. If you use constant pressure, it'll give you a nice finish, but sometimes they do chatter. There we go. Now let's see if that bolt will fit in there. Of course it does, because we did it before, and that's nice. Now we'll just do a little chamfer. Alright, be careful when you do that. Make sure that your chuck jaws don't actually dig into your compound. If you're new at this, yeah, I've done it. Yep. much better. Excellent. Now when you do this, you know, there's not a lot of grab onto, but you do want it to be as straight as you can, of course, right? And measure a margin of safety for your cutting tool. So here we go. Took a couple of parallels that I homemade. So let's do that first. Here's one of those little edges I was telling you about. Sometimes they chatter. Okay, that's good. Let's make a chamfer on the outside. Look at the fit, because the finish is not too bad. Now I'll take that out of there. I'll show this to you. So that's going to be a much nicer washer than what we had before. And see, like, the head's going to recess completely in here. So that's going to be sturdy. Yes, sir. Okay, we're gonna rinse and repeat by doing the second one, and then it'll be time to go to the surface grinder and give this a nice finish. Well, my friends, the finish is absolutely phenomenal on those washers, but for the sake of just simply using the surface grinder and making myself happy, I'm gonna use it. So, first thing first, go down until the paper touches, and that's about, piece of paper is about 4/1000 of an inch. The graduations on my surface grinders are 5/10 of 1/1000 of an inch. And there you go, we're touching. So we'll start there. Now remember, when you do this sort of thing with a surface grinder, please use caution. It's not a toy, it's a pretty dangerous piece of machinery. My surface grinder spins counterclockwise. Okay, so I'm going down about 1/1000 of an inch at a time here until I touch. There we go. The goal, like, just for fun here, is to make them same height. Doesn't take long. So clearly the one is much higher than the other one. Remember, there's no valid reason for me to do this except to have fun, and there is no more or no better reason than to have fun, because that's the whole point. If you're not having fun doing this as a hobby, well, maybe you need a different hobby. Got a ways to go. I can tell. Nowhere near touching the other one. Now check this out here. Look at the one on the left. We're just starting to scrape the middle of it. So that shows me, like, when we cut off this piece of material or even face it in the lathe, it's not all that perfect yet. We'll just continue from here and make things nice and even. And we'll flip them around and do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so I've done the surface grinding on these washers. And they are within 1/10 of 1/1000 of an inch from each other, or less. I think it's more in the millions. And so what I'm going to do now, in the sake of overdoing absolutely everything, I'm going to take this little diamond file here, cut the edges off, because even in the process of surface grinding, there are burrs that develop, and I don't particularly want any, because, you know, I'm in the mood of overdoing everything. Alright, this is good. Do the inside diameter afterwards here. Now the beauty of this here is it's pre-hardened metal, so there's no need to harden it. It was hard enough already, as you could tell with some of my tools. Some of the drill bits just wouldn't cut. And see, these files are just struggling a little bit as well. But I'm just cutting the burrs off a little bit, so there. That's all I really wanted to do. Now there's one here, a touch. I mean, let's face it here, this is going to be made in Canada product, so it's going to be good. Kind of like our hockey teams, right? Although our southern neighbors have been winning all the Stanley Cups, so for quite a few years. So congratulations to all the US teams. You're showing us how it's done. Alright. That's good. Now just to show you. Oh yeah, surface finish, right. Very happy with this. Honestly, I couldn't have overdone it any better. So now, when I install these things, I'll actually be able to use them as a surface or a platform of some sort, say for a screw jack, which is, you know, kind of handy. And it's hardened, so we're not going to end up with a washer that looks like this. Well, I guess the video would not be complete without me actually installing these things, right? So I've put my, we're not going to set it up, right? But I mean, just to try these on, see what happens. Now, you can see these are, these little T-nuts actually extend above the bed surface, and that is so that my vise can actually indicate on those. So we'll put those here. Hopefully we'll have enough space. Yep. Oh, look at that. And put on the other one. On this side. I am pretty happy with this. Alright. And slide that in place. Let's see how it works. Oh, this is so nice. Very nice. Very nice. Give it a tug. Oh, feels solid. No give. And honestly, that is what I was really hoping for. Let me zoom in on this for you. Check that out. Wow. Okay, I'll back you out for a second. Alright, put a screw jack on there, see what happens. Perfect. Yes, sir. So that's what I'm talking about, folks. Well, there you have it. If you like seeing guys overdoing things, you've come to the right place. So, thanks for watching, folks. I really appreciate you coming over. And please like and subscribe if you like my content. I always appreciate your comments and questions or answers to my questions. So, take care. Bye-bye.